Okay, hi. Once again, it's time for Talking Small Press with Steve Keeter and whoever I am.
Martin Dixon,
Oh, that's right. That's hard
great
to remember. But anyway, we got a few things to go over today, and we hope you enjoy it. So what do you want to do first, Steve? We have Jim Main's latest.
Let's start with that. That sounds
right.
good. This is an incredible cover.
It is, and this is Pazit. All right.
Pazit.
Yeah, I
heard
can
it
do
from
it.
Jim himself. I've heard it pronounced a lot of different ways. And I mentioned this in a previous video. Brendan Gramer, who was hard of hearing, when we were at the Chicago convention in 1986, Brendan Gramer said he thought it was pronounced a piece of shit. But it's not pronounced that way.
I don't think Jim intended that. I really don't. Anyway, this is a big book. That's a big book, full size, and it's 27 pages this time.
Well, really, only 27? It seems like it's longer. It's got a lot of substance.
Yeah, but it's 27 pages. That's what it says, and the cover price is $5.25.
Yeah, and it's worth every penny of it because you got full color covers. And
well, look at the inside cover here.
Yeah, look at the babe on the left. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, you chauvinist pig. But that is
Rick McCollum.
That's
Rick
by John
McCollum.
Lambert.
No, John Lambert. I'm sorry. The back cover is Rick McCollum.
Yeah, and that's incredible too. Look at the detail on that. Rick McCollum, he's such an amazing artist.
Yeah.
I like the textures and everything, and the stuff he does. Sometimes it's creepy, but it's always engaging.
Perfect, kind of perfect for Halloween, you know.
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Just
for Halloween, yeah.
Yeah. And this is it's got quite a few different stories and things in here, you know, and they're all great as always, you know.
One of the first things in the issue is the Acrobat and the Simeon. And this is okay. This is you got it. You're in the same place as me. We're in sync, pal.
We're in sync. We've been doing this long enough. We know what we're doing. Almost.
And the thing is, it's by Jim Main. And it's by Tony Lorenz. Artwork is by Tony Lorenz.
Yeah, Jim wrote it.
You see those dark textured inks? The inks are so good on this. I actually thought it was someone like Jeff Austin or somebody, you know, who I respect, you know, all my artist friends, but I thought, but it's Tony. It's Tony, and Tony, your artwork and your inks here are amazing.
Yeah.
And Jim's story, this is a prelude to an upcoming adventure featuring the Vindicators, which is a combination of superhero characters that I created and that Jim Main created. And this one features the Simeon. Jim Main, the Acrobat and the Simeon, who were a team, but they've kind of split up at this point. And this kind of explains why the Simeon, he's upset with, or the Acrobat is upset. Well, this is the Simeon. The Simeon is the big guy with the strength. The Simeon has he's a little bit upset with his former pal, the Acrobat, and has something to do with this hospital scene here, where one of his friends, relatives, is in the hospital. So this is a prelude to something else.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so something's coming up, and Jim is building up.
Next up is another one written by Jim Main, but this one's illustrated by Verrill Bond, and this is Cowboys.
It would be gorgeous in color.
It would be, wouldn't it? Yeah.
You can just hear the
it's really neat. Too easy money.
Too easy money. It's a straight out of Clint Eastwood, Sergio Leone, Western adventure.
Yeah, really cool.
Rolls into town, has an encounter with a gunslinger. Well, you know, the stranger wins. So I don't know if you can see that or not. You know,
I can see it. Sure.
But there's a gun battle that takes place inside of a saloon.
Yeah.
And end of this, and I got a kick out of this. At the very end of it, shows a wanted poster for this guy, Smiley Keeter.
I wonder where.
Mustache.
I'm trying to figure out where he came up with that name.
Yeah, Smiley Keeter.
Smiley Keeter.
So this would have been like a year ago, right?
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, I have no idea what he's referring to here, but I certainly hope he follows up on this, Jimmy, a nut. Oh, that's so funny. I cracked up when I saw that.
And he's got one in here also that was originally, must be pretty old. It was originally done in, what do you call that?
Well, it was back in the 1970s.
Yeah.
Ditto Method.
Ditto, yeah.
Originally printed on a spirit duplicator in runny purple Ditto.
Yeah.
And like I recently reprinted my my #1, which was
right. Yeah. This is the same kind of thing. Yeah. He reprinted this.
Crude publishing method that we used back in the early days, back in the 60s, early 70s, and it was abandoned because quality photocopy came along, and and also
you didn't need it anymore. You could get black and whites that were perfect, but the only thing this doesn't have is the original smell of that duplicating ink. Remember that?
The old folks like us,
yeah,
you remember back when you were in high school,
yeah,
like way back 50 years ago and stuff, and you had those purple tests that came out in purple.
Your test came out and it was all purple like that, and you fill in the blanks.
Everybody was smelling their tests.
Yeah.
You couldn't eat them. You had to answer the questions to get a grade. But it's really funny. And I remember reading this when it first came out way back then. And what can I say? The reproduction, well, some pages you can see through it to the other page, the page on the back.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult to
it just gives you an idea what it was like back then. It's kind of a neat idea to do that.
Written by Jim Main.
Yep.
Featured characters who are obviously patterned after Jim Main and Mike Tuz. And those Cat and Wolf are actually Jim Main and Mike Tuz portrayed as detectives. And they've been investigating a murder. And if you can see this right here, there's a lumpy carpet, but it's actually a person, somebody's under that rug, but they've been looking for the corpse of this guy and they never can find him. And in the end, they just walk away saying, pretty lumpy rug.
Some good detective work there. Really.
This was a great story, and it's well worth reprinting all these years.
Look at this Brad Foster illustration.
Yeah, Brad Foster is amazing.
Look at that.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah, he's totally amazing. He's one of the finest fantasy artists out.
But here is my favorite story of the whole book, right here. This one here is actually, if I can get it to show here.
I see it.
How to handle those robocalls.
How to deal with a Microsoft scanner.
This is the one where they call you and tell you your Microsoft computer is got a virus, and they tell you, they're going to take care of it. Well, he tells you in this little cartoon how to handle that, what you should do. And he's right. So you probably have to buy the book to read that. It's very important. You probably ought to get it. And that's by Simon McKay.
Yeah. Well, the guy says, he says, I have to, there's someone at the door. He's talking to the guy on the phone.
Yeah. Well, that's all part of how you handle that. Yeah.
And he says, someone's at the door. I'll be right back. So then he waits like a half an hour or something, shows back up, and then he's interested again. And then he acts like he doesn't have any idea what's going on the internet. What do you mean desktop? Remote desktop? The guy wants to go, the Microsoft scammer wants to take over his remote access, with remote access, but he doesn't understand what he's talking about. And then he walks away again, and he keeps stalling the guy. And then hang on, it's my anti-flow at the door. So he keeps putting the guy out for like an hour. He listens to music, and then eventually he just hangs up on the guy.
Yeah.
So,
Well, if you get this, you got a handy reference on what to do when they call you. You can just put it right in front of you and follow exactly what he tells you to do. They call me and tell me my my Windows computer has a problem and they're going to fix it for me. There's only one thing about that. I have an iMac.
That's hilarious. That's
You
great.
know. Anyway, what a great issue. Well worth it, like I said.
There's one more story in the issue. It's a one-page story, and it's by me.
But we don't want to forget that. One of the most important pages in the book.
Well, it was something we did just for fun. And I drew the first two panels. And I drew part of the third panel, but Tony Lorenz actually did the inks on this. It's just showing me I show up and there's a surprise party for me.
Who did the pencils?
Characters are featured in the picture.
Did you do the pencels?
I did the pencils on the first two panels.
Oh, okay. Then Tony did the rest?
Yeah, I penciled the third panel, but Tony had a better idea. He changed the direction of the story, and the third, he just wiped that out and he did his own. So he ended up drawing the third and the fourth panel, and he inked the whole thing.
Now, are these all your characters, or are there some other characters in here from other?
This is not all my characters.
These are all yours.
My characters. The ones that I could think of at the time, there's Titan, the Raven, Nightman, the Phoenix, the Eggman, who hasn't been seen in about 3 or 4 decades. There he is at the bottom on the left.
Yeah.
Sunwing, Cosmic Man, the Beacon, and I'm a Man. But yes, those are my characters.
All of Steve's characters in there, and you can check them out.
Just about all of them. Yep.
Yep.
It's a great zine. Jimmy did a great job. This is brilliant work. Beautiful.
Oh yeah. Very, very nice. All right. What do you want to do next?
We're going to talk about Nik Dirga and
okay.
Adventures. Now, this one Nik sent this to us as an internet zine.
Yeah, it's I did not print out every page. Huh?
You printed the cover, didn't you?
Yeah, I printed the cover. I wanted to print the cover, and I also printed his narrative here. Slimeball Schemes.
I printed the entire issue.
Okay.
Good. I didn't want to use up all that ink, but I knew we were going to do a show, and I wanted to have something to show people.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did. I didn't print it all, but
Nik has been around for a few decades, and
I guess this is 30th issue. So
yeah, it's not just the 30th issue; it's his 50th.
Well,
50th small press publication.
It's what it says right at the top. 50th small press book from Protoplasm Press, which is Nik's.
Yeah. So what did you think?
Oh, I have heard about Amoeba Adventures forever, ever since I got into small press, and I had never seen one. So this was pretty interesting for me. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know what the amoeba was. And for me, it was pretty interesting. I'd never seen it before.
Nik actually wrote and drew and edited and did the entire issue by himself. He has worked in the past with Max Ink and other good inkers.
I know Max.
Excellent inkers. What we got here is the Adventures. He's got a Ram Bunny, who was a giant 6'6" rabbit.
Yeah, that's who's on the cover, Ram Bunny.
And Dawn Star, who's
like Harvey the Rabbit, 6'6".
And Dawn Star, you can kind of see the contrast here between two of his heroes, Ram Bunny and Dawn Star.
Yeah.
And Dawn Star is significantly shorter, but extremely powerful. She has powers, very fiery powers, where she can unleash fire bombs. In this case, the fire bomb that she unleashes to save people collapses an entire building.
I was going to say, she uses her power. She has the power, but makes a mistake when she lets it go and collapses the building on themselves. So that's what the story is about, and pretty neat.
and then they're stuck. They're stuck under the building.
Yeah.
So the building has collapsed. And Ram Bunny's a pretty strong guy. He's holding the building up, as you can see right here.
Yeah.
And they're stuck under the building. They're trapped.
Yeah.
And no way to get out. They're waiting for someone to come help them, but he can only hold it up for so long. Towards the end of the issue, a giant amoeba appears, and that's why it's called Amoeba Adventures, and it's called it's Prometheus, or a giant protoplasm. Okay.
Yeah.
And where's that panel at? Where's that panel at?
Well, I didn't print it, so I don't have it. I have it on the computer though.
I'm giving off the climax of the story. I'm giving it away.
Don't give everything away.
I'm not going to tell you folks what happens, but there's this Prometheus
trapped under the building,
octopus holding up the building. So
what starts out as them going after bad guys winds up them trying to get out of the building. They collapsed on themselves. Pretty different story.
But they almost got rid of themselves as well.
Yeah.
And so you got the entire story. Nick, thank you for sending this.
How would anybody get this? I mean, do you have to write to Nick, you think, or what? Because we'll put all his info in the description below.
It says, okay, additional print copies available for $7.50 postpaid.
Okay.
From Nick.
He's in New Zealand, is that right?
Yeah, but he has a U.S. address also.
He does.
The New Zealand address listed here. I'd have to look for it, but I would go with the New Zealand address because that is where he is. But I sent him something. He sent me something and it had an American address. I don't know if it's a friend or a family member or whatever. I'll go with the New Zealand address.
Okay.
If you want to order this, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll have the info for you. It's quite an accomplishment, I think, to have 30 issues of the same, the same characters. That's amazing in small press, especially.
Well, Nick's been around a long time. He was an important member of both the UFO and I think the SPS, the Small Press Syndicate. And it'd be cool to see him back. I asked him, "You want to come back to UFO?" Because remember, folks, I'm the chairman of the UFO, the United Fanzine Organization.
Right.
If you folks are interested in that, let me know, and I'll send you some information. I'll send you a free copy of the latest issue of the newsletter, which is Tetragrammaton Fragments. Here it is with a David Brandstetter cover.
Nice.
And it's got articles and
reviews
from some of our members. Andre Michaud, who publishes the Masked Avenger magazine, and I'll let you know how you can join. I can get involved with that. You don't have to send us zines. You can send, whether you're a UFO member or not, send us your comics and magazines. We will review them. And Larned says, he'll return them. He'll review them and return them.
Yeah, if you send them to us for this little show, you just mark on there if you'd like it returned. I'm not here to get free comic books. So if you want it returned, I will return it to you. So,
we're here to promote small press, to promote your talent and your ability.
Yeah, and we've got quite a bit of interest. Our problem is we don't have enough to have a program every single Saturday. We would do that if we had enough comics to review, but we don't. So,
and we know they're out there. So
there's all kinds of them.
And send it to Larned. Larned is going to put all the info down at the bottom of this video, so check it out. And we're all about support and encouraging, and our small press friends.
Now, coming up here is somebody that watched our videos and sent his comic in, and this is Micah Leisenfeld.
It's like this.
Yeah, because it's two comics in one. On the other half of the comic is Pants and Other Serious Topics by Danny Houk.
Danny Houk. Yeah.
And
it's a color.
Micah's is Space Car Blue Book. And Micah's, really, it's a perzine or a personal journal.
It's called
his
Slice of Life.
family life.
Slice of Life, where he actually details stories from his own life.
Exactly. Yeah.
The comic book format. So.
And he mentions that one of his daughters, I believe it's a daughter, yeah,
His daughter.
has an illness, and that's part of what he talks about in here.
It's a neurodegenerative disease.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually may take away her ability to walk, increase her risk of cancer, and cause her immune system to malfunction. So
Yeah, but it doesn't stop her from doing things, and that's what this little story is kind of about. They do all kinds of things, and
yeah, it's actually a happy comic. It's not a
actually, yeah, absolutely. It's just that,
Mhm.
and Micah's, it's kind of interesting because he kind of he kind of starts out with this style. And then when you get into the story for a couple of pages, he kind of changes a little bit to a little bit different style. Here they're in
full color,
car, which I assume is the space car. And then here, right on the last part of it, it's in full color.
Yeah. And I like that last panel. The last panel where he's swinging his daughter. He talks about the days they spend together, and there's a lot of humor and stuff that they do together. Kind of funny. And he says he's swinging his daughter, and he says there's a comfort in the motion of swinging, but the truth is, I too wish I could stay here, living in a frozen moment of time with the pendulum still moving.
There you go.
I just think that's poignant.
Very nice.
That's a really nice panel. Great job.
Yeah. And then on the other, you turn the book upside down, you come up with this one. With Danny Houk.
Danny Houk is a co-worker. They work together. They both.
I think so, yeah. But I looked at Danny Houk's webpage, and you probably want to do that. Oh my gosh, he's got some neat stuff. Really neat. This little book is, it says, thanks for looking at my comic. I'm grateful for the support and inspiration from my wife, 5 children, and my creative community, especially my friend Micah.
There you go. Well, that's cool when you're at work and you find someone else who has the same interest as you. In this case,
yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
It happens sometimes, but it's cool when you find somebody else. I could go way back to my beginnings in small press. I thought it was just me. I was drawing my own comic books on notebook paper.
Yeah.
I found that other people were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And then I found out that there was a network of small press publishers and people, and it's like one thing leads to another.
I found that out too, and I was amazed. I would draw things and never even dreamed of making a comic book. And when I discovered there's all kinds of people doing it, I went, holy cow. What have I been doing? But here's the first couple panels, and it's I wear the pants in the family, the guy says. And the wife says, I too wear the pants in the family. And the second panel says, we're just admirers of great pants.
That's very funny.
And he goes on to little different style for him. He moves into a little different style with these kind of things.
Yeah, he meets Jesus, but Jesus says, just because you're writing in a self-aware acknowledgement of economic injustice doesn't make you woke or part of a solution. It turns out not to really be Jesus.
Here's an interesting page, rude food. Food that talks to you and is rude.
That was kind of, I had to get a magnifying glass to read it.
I did too. I was going to mention that. The printing in some of this is very, very small. So I had a hard time reading it. I didn't have a magnifying glass.
Folks probably haven't noticed, but I have brand new glasses. I just got this prescription a couple
of weeks. How do they work
ago.
On this kind of print?
It's so small, I still need a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Rude food. Let me see what it says here. There's crumbs. Oh my gosh, it's still hard to read.
It's hard to read, yeah. But
it's funny when you get a magnifying glass. The It says the one moldy strawberry is always in the middle. There's always in the middle of strawberries. There's always one moldy one, and it says, and the one moldy strawberry is talking. It says, "Would be a shame if I were to touch everyone around me."
Ruin them all.
And there's the strawberries. But great work, despite small type.
Very nice. Very cool. So you get 2 in 1 with Space Car Blue Book. You get 2 books in 1.
Yeah, and I wanted to say something to Micah
Micah?
Leisenfeld. I just forwarded you a couple of zines. I just mailed them out a couple of hours ago. I sent you the newest issue of Mantra, my running anthology title, and I sent you the new UFO newsletter so you can read up about the UFO if you're interested in joining the group or whatever. There's other small press groups, but this one has been around for more than 50 years. And I was the chairman way back then, and this old geezer is chairman again now. So I have to mention that once in a while because it's a fact of my small press life. I'm trying to promote myself or the zine or the group. Well, I am promoting the group a little bit, but I got to mention that.
Yeah, I wanted to say one other thing about Micah. He lives, I bet you he doesn't live any more than 15 miles from where I live, with right down the road.
Okay, well, that's cool. Maybe you guys will meet somewhere.
Maybe we will sometime. Would be cool if we could do that. And
are there any comic conventions in your area?
Pardon me?
Are there any comic book conventions in your area?
We had a small press convention years and years ago, a one-time shot in the City Museum, which was a really neat place to have it.
Oh, that's cool.
And they only did it once. I went to it and enjoyed it. We had a great time. They had named guests. They had a lot of people, and we never did it again. I don't know why, but so no, there's not a lot. We don't see a lot of convention type things. I mean, there may be a mainstream comic book convention, but I don't usually even go to those. But
yeah. Well, I'm lucky because I'm just a couple of miles away from the Orlando the convention center.
The big
here.
one. Yeah.
And we have MegaCon there every year. And so, I went to this most recent one, and Tony Lorenz and Ken Anthony was there, Ken Anthony II, and we talked for a little while, and I have a lot of money to spend, so I just spent a few hours there, and then I left, but it was still cool. And this is, with COVID and everything, I was amazed at the crowd. There's a lot of people out there. It's not just comics, it's media, it's movies, it's,
Yeah, you wouldn't think so, but there is a lot of people interested in it.
It was a huge crowd.
I've been to the San Diego Comic Con, which is just amazed me. I mean, I couldn't even believe that when I went.
Went there once. Yeah, that was huge.
Oh, that's the biggest thing I've ever seen. And I mean, my son and I were there. He lives in Los Angeles, so we took a ride up to San Diego and didn't even realize the Comic Con was going on, and walked in. You could never see it in one day. We didn't have enough time to see, all that stuff, but it was interesting, and people with costumes and all kinds of stuff.
It's a huge convention.
Oh,
MegaCon is called MegaCon because it's huge, right?
Yeah.
But the San Diego Comic Con is twice the size of MegaCon.
It's huge. Yeah, almost too big.
And my girlfriend at the time, Irene, she met Lou Ferrigno there.
Yeah, they're all there. Yeah.
But
my favorite convention has always been Space in Columbus, Ohio. Haven't been for the last few years, but
I've never been to Space.
Go regularly.
I really should go. I've got to go sometime soon.
Yeah. It's a long drive for me. That's the only problem. It's a whoop-a-doo.
Me too. I'm way down south.
Yeah. So haven't been lately. Well, I'm thinking we have done it. For this episode, I think we have finished.
Another episode is in the can.
Yeah. I hope you guys liked it. We'll be back as soon as you send us some comics. We'll be back.
And do that, folks. Send us your books to review. Like I say, like Larned said, we're not into it because we want a bunch of free comics.
No.
I already get a lot of free comics and stuff in the mail. I'm the chairman of the UFO, so people send me books all the time.
Yeah.
But we're here to support small press because it's what we love. It's what you do and you love, and you know what we can do to support and encourage people and keep them doing this amazing work. You know, we're glad to do.
Yeah, enjoy it. It's always fun to see this stuff. So you should buy them for yourself so you can see them. Anyway, all the info will be down in the description, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Adios.